Hi, I'm Kyle, and these are my rants. Seriously, like a buffet. You just walk in and you're like, okay, $15 for as much food as I can humanly eat. Walk in that door and you're like, it's on, bitch. This is happening. And then you just start. You sit down, you're looking at the people at your table, and you're like, all right, guys, we're gonna go. We'll meet back here in like 5 minutes. Break, and you get up and you move. Your first mind is, well, I have to be healthy. I have to impress my friends. I've got to have my salad first, right? That's the thing everybody likes to go for, but not really. You know, as you're going through that line, you're like, God, salad's just gonna take up a spot on my plate. It's gonna hold a spot. I'm not even gonna eat it. It's just gonna be there so that people think I'm healthy, and I might like take a nibble of it. So then you go down the rest of the line, you get your like freaking crab legs and your like mashed potatoes and your sirloin steak. And as you're walking through, you're watching employees who are like changing the sheet pans of hot food out, and you're just kind of like looking at them going, don't judge me. Don't judge me! Don't! And then like afterwards you got this like heaping creation that you're like, how the fuck is there even a balance point to this? Like you're like holding the plate like awkwardly, and then you're like, as you're walking back, of course there's the soup thing like right there by your table that you didn't notice while you were getting up. And then you get over there and you're like balancing this massive thing, which is now probably cradled on your arm, and you're like, all right, I got this. Okay, so I'm gonna get my soup, and you're like pouring it all over the countertop. Then you get back and you set it down, and you take one big look at this plate, and you're going, no one else is at the table, and I got like this big, massive plate. I have no idea how it got this big, but it's there. And you're like looking around going, I don't want them to judge me. Can I like slip it under the table? Like how the fuck am I gonna do this? So you just start scarfing down really quick, and then people come up and you're like, oh my god, they're gonna think I'm rude because I wasn't waiting for them, but in reality I was just too embarrassed for them to see this massive pile of food. What the hell is going on? And then they sit down and they've got like a little plate of food because they were the second person there, so the second person back always has like the smallest plate of food humanly possible. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, I had this massive plate. You were up there for like longer than me, and you ended up with nothing. Like, that always happens. My dad goes to a buffet, or my stepmom goes to a buffet. They will be gone for like 20 fucking minutes, and they'll come back with the smallest plate of food I've ever freaking seen. And they will both sit down, and they'll both eat, like, very slowly. And I will be scarfing this massive portion down. Like, it'll just be like freaking health meter. It's just like, your arteries are now clogged. Meanwhile, my dad is just sitting there like with like a freaking miniature fork going, and this is the most wonderful tomato I've ever had. And this one. And then my brother returns, and my brother's been gone for like hours. And he comes walking up and slams this massive ass pile of bread, because that's his thing. He eats bread and anything that's bread related. So he just slams this massive pile of bread that's even bigger than my pile. And he just takes one look at me and goes, so you going up for seconds? And I'm sitting there like, oh. Okay, hang on. Anything that's like all you can eat, it's a challenge. You don't get just one round. You have to go for two, because you're paying to be there. So then you get up and you go back up and you're like, all right, I got this. Going for round two. So you go up there with your plate and you're like, okay, I'm going to go light this time. Just a handful of items, just to, fill the plate a little bit, make it look like I'm here and I care. Like with my dad particularly, it's always something money related. So it's put a little bit on the plate so dad's appeased that I'm going up for a second round, and he's not thinking that I'm like screwing him on money. So I come back with what I think is a small plate of food, and I set it down, and I take a second look at it and go, son of a bitch, it's bigger than the first. You gotta mentally convince yourself on that second or third plate of how you're gonna do this. Because you're just like, you have to commit. It's not just something that happened, it's now that thing where you have to freaking commit. You're like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Okay, stomach, we got this. 10 minutes later, as soon as you walk out, you're like, you know what, I'm hungry now. Like, that's always how it seems to happen at an Asian restaurant. It's because of all the rice and stuff they give you. Like, within an hour, you're going, I'm really freaking hungry right now. Even though I wasn't 10 seconds ago, I'm now hungry. But then you get over to dessert. And like the all-you-can-eat sushi place, they're smart about it. They offer you ice cream, because that's their thing. You order all-you-can-eat, you get ice cream. That's their kind of like pat on the head. You're going to be okay, pumpkin. You just had your stomach removed. Here's some ice cream. You go up there and they've got this wonderful selection of things that look totally like shit, and you don't want to eat them at all. Because when you first got there, you looked at the desserts and eyed them, and they all looked horrible. Because buffets aren't known for the desserts. They're not there for the desserts. They're there for the food. The dessert just happens to be for that like 5-year-old who's going, Mommy, I really want something chocolate. And the mother's like, oh, always that like fake stuff that comes from a bag that gets like mixed into like that giant drum of a container for soft serve. and it's always the bomb. So everybody goes for the ice cream because that's how a buffet is set up. Buffet is set up: good food, not so good desserts, good ice cream. Because when you're so full you're about to throw up and you feel obligated to have something, you're gonna want something good. So you go up there for the ice cream so that you can sit there and let it melt, and you're like, oh my god, it's like I'm drinking milk. It doesn't even feel like it's filling a void. Versus like, you know what sounds great right now? A fucking brownie the size of my head. That's my view of buffets. Alright guys, so again, I'm Kyle, and if you like my videos, you can click here to subscribe, or click right here to watch the next video. And thank you for watching, and hope to see you guys soon.